We're live.
Welcome everyone, this is Unjust Restart. I'm joined by Brandon from What About Nintendo. So if you notice, the setup probably is ridiculous right now, or very simplified, and that's because I'm doing this from my phone, and Brandon is hosting the stream for me from his computer. Reason being, because for the 5th time tomorrow, a technician will be coming in, because just before we were about to get the podcast started, my internet started going out randomly, and while Brandon and me were on the call together, it would just skip out every moment. That's not how we're going to be able to do the podcast. So hopefully now, at least you guys can hear us. And even though it's a little, I can't have the outline right, I can't have any graphics or anything like that or background music, at least we can talk, right? So hopefully you guys can hear me and Brandon, and we can kind of, we can still kind of do the show.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully it works good. Yeah, guys, let me know what the audio is and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like we are live.
Yeah. Since this is kind of an impromptu setup, let me know if there's any issues, and I'll get them sorted out.
Yeah.
You know what I could do? You know what? Never mind. I was gonna put on some music in the background, but I don't know if it'd be. No, I can do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put on a thing I usually do for my coffee talks.
Dope.
If you don't mind. So just talk for a bit so I can get this set up.
Yeah.
Do the introductions.
Let me briefly go over the outline, right? Hopefully, can I see is everyone in the chat there? Yeah, I can still see the chat, so I think we're good. All right, so we're gonna briefly go over a few conversational points about like Nintendo DLC, and then we're gonna be talking about some free-to-play games. Like I just played Paladins for the first time a few minutes ago, and then the internet went out. But whatever. And then we'll be getting into our predictions for an August Nintendo Direct. We'll be talking like about, well, I guess speculating if there even is going to be one, because it's technically not confirmed yet, right? And then we're going to be talking about, when we think it could happen in the month if we agree that it's happening. I keep on looking at my camera that's over here, but I realize I'm on my phone. Anyways, I always look over here. So, we're going to be doing that, and we're going to talk about what we actually think is going to be in the Direct, right? We're going to go over. I don't even know if I want to call them rumors, but there's some things that I've heard that are going to give me a bit more of an idea of what to predict for this Direct, and then we'll get into some Smash stuff because I definitely think, Brandon, I know you agree. I think pretty much everyone agrees with me that Smash is going to be a part of the Direct whenever it happens. So yeah,
right.
Yep. That's what we're talking about.
Cool.
All right, so you have background music on?
I do. I put on a big old playlist of music.
Cool. All right. So, sweet. Anyways, guys, again, please excuse the technical difficulties. Thank you so much for still sticking around to hear us out, even with this impromptu setup. Right, and again, I'm probably going to continue to look over here. This is where my camera is, but I'm using my phone because my internet sucks. Because Verizon sucks, and they are literally visiting for the 5th time. Even though I said that already,
right.
It really does piss me off. I am very frustrated, But cool. Anyways, I'm glad you guys are still here. So I guess let's just get into it, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, I played Paladins for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, because he told me to. I haven't really been paying attention to my Nintendo Switch eShop because there's so many games on there, and most of them are indie games, and some of them are shovelware. But I searched for Paladins, I found it, and I downloaded it for free. I wasn't sure what was going on at first, but I got on and I realized I'm really good at this game. And then my internet went out, and I was pissed. But then it went back again. I also had to complete a whole round, and then I finished the setup for the podcast. And then it started going on again. But whatever. Again, I'm gonna stop bringing it up now. For now. But yeah, Paladins was fun, man. I think it was running really well. I do feel like the aiming was a little slow, but I guess I could probably fix the sensitivity on that. And the way it seemed like I was playing with other people on my team, but we were fighting against computers. That's how it felt.
Yeah, when you first play Paladins, I've noticed it typically puts you up against CPUs, and they're trash. They're absolute garbage. They're like, there's no hope for them. But as you play more and you level up, it starts pitting you against like actual people, so then it gets harder.
Okay. All right, so it puts you guys computers so you can actually feel good about yourself for a little bit.
Right.
All right, because I was like, damn, like I'm just dropping kills left.
I'm a legend at this game.
too easy. But at least, you know, it kind of helps me to get a hang of the game. And I was realizing this is literally my first time. Oh, what's this on the? Oh snap! I can still see my donations. Cycly, you just gave me $30. Thank you. I was looking.
Oh.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it.
I just realized that means I don't have any of the alerts set up, so sorry about that, guys. It would take way too long for me to set up all the stuff from his stream.
But I can still see the alerts though. So yeah, nice. Thank you a lot, man. Yeah. So yeah, Paladin is really fun. I was noticing that each trigger is like a different power. Like it's not it doesn't control like a normal. I guess it's my first time playing a first-person hero shooter. I've never tried them out before.
Right.
But anyways, you know, a lot of you probably already played Paladins before, so I'm not going to continue to talk about a game most people have probably already played. But it was fun, man, and it ran pretty well on the Nintendo Switch. I have no problems with it at all. None. I do have problems with Fortnite on Switch. Whenever I play it on there, I feel like it's a blurry mess.
Right.
But hopefully, I know that's a work in progress, but at least Paladins, I felt pretty good about playing that game.
Yeah, Paladins looks and plays really good. Obviously, I noticed a huge downgrade from the PC version, but I'm used to running it, you know, like 1440p max settings, so you can't really blame it that much. But, I mean, it's got 60 frames per second. I think Digital Foundry said it's between 900p and 720p, like it's a variable resolution. And you definitely notice it drops down more when you're like first loading in, but then it gets higher. So I think it sticks closer to that 900p most of the time, but when it's like really heavy, like it would drop a little bit, and when you're first loading it, it drops. But other than that, I never really noticed it looking blurry. It usually looks pretty sharp, and they got pretty good anti-aliasing on that game too. But for the gameplay itself, like it works really well. I definitely think it's one of those games where you need like the Pro Controller, because the joysticks, the tiny little joysticks on the Joy-Cons just don't cut it at all. It's like impossible to aim. They need to add motion controls to that game. That's what that game needs, for sure.
Right. Yeah. That was one thing. I was like, oh, are there motion controls on here? But I didn't see anything yet. But I haven't played with the settings. But you're saying that it's not there, so now I know.
Yeah, I looked for it. I didn't see it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I enjoyed Paladins, but I guess technically I'm supposed to sort of tie into the free-to-play topic, but so we'll say that for a moment. What do you think of the? Well, apparently some Xenoblade DLC came out, right? And I mean, it's cool, but I'm not going to play Xenoblade until like the major DLC comes out. Since I beat the game. Right, I went and did some side quests, and since then I haven't really jumped into it. But I know I've been getting updates like every few weeks or every month or so with like extra quests, extra characters. But I'm kind of waiting till that story DLC so I jump right back into it. And when I do, it's gonna be like a whole other game,
right?
Because of all of these updates with the challenge mode, with the story DLC. So there's a lot there. Yeah, and I'm kind of waiting on that, but you know I guess I'm excited for when I do eventually go back to it, but I haven't been following it because when I do, I want to have like that, you know, like, oh my god, there's all this new stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you want me to go over some of the things that they added, or one of the cool things that they added that I was wanting to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, one of the things, most of it's just, you know, side quests and stuff, and music options is like whatever. But one of them is actually, they added a new difficulty. So they added hard difficulty before, now they added extreme difficulty. So that's a new setting that you can do, and now you can customize your difficulty to like a ridiculous amount. So you can not only customize between easy, normal, hard, and ultimate, but you can customize like each aspect of the game. So enemy attack power, that's something you can change between the settings. Enemy attack frequency, enemy's maximum HP, enemy debuff duration, player blade combo buffer time, party gauge gains, player special recharge rate, the player health restoration, the chain attack damage multiplier, and the ascendant state party gauge use can all be changed between easy, normal, hard, and ultimate, which I just thought is like insane. It feels like debug mode of the game almost, with just how much you can change. I was just like really shocked that they went to that extent for this game.
Well, yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's interesting. I didn't expect them to continually, you know, offer this much support for the game.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought it was just gonna be like the major tentpole updates like they did for Zelda, but they've just been like every couple of weeks there's been new stuff. It's been kind of crazy.
Right, which it just goes to my point that when I do eventually go back into the game, it's gonna be this huge. I'm looking at my internet right now, just always going on. I hate it, but whatever. It's just gonna be this huge expansion of content, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I guess that kind of brings it to the topic I sort of want to touch on, before we jump into the direct predictions. Like, how do you feel about like the way Nintendo's been handling DLC this last couple of years? Because if you go back to the Wii U era, like they were really not even, I don't even want to say they were scratching the surface of the DLC. Like they were way behind the times of DLC, right? And now they're almost pretty much fully engrossed into the DLC environment compared to the competition now. So I feel like they're really starting to get a flow for it, right? Like I think Breath of the Wild last year was like the first time they were really offering like significant DLC to like a game that's like, purely like single player based. It's all about a strict adventure, right? Like I mean, I know there was Hyrule Warriors, but that it's like a different kind of breeding. And you know what I'm talking about? The epics. Like the first time they offered a actual significant DLC content for an epic kind of game, right? And and I think they learned how they handle Breath of the Wild, and looking at what they're doing with Xenoblade 2, I think there's definitely different things that they've handled better, right? And for the record, I also still think we're gonna get paid Mario Odyssey DLC at some point.
Right, hopefully.
I mean, we have to. We're hoping, but like, why would they continually be offering free DLC updates for Mario Odyssey if they're not trying to maintain momentum and butter people up for eventual paid DLC? And I think one of the reasons why we haven't heard an announcement yet for Mario Odyssey DLC is because of the way they saw how they handled the Breath of the Wild DLC. There was some backlash because they announced it really early on. By announcing it late, I think they will not. There's going to be minimal backlash because no one's going to. Very few people are going to accuse Nintendo of creating, like cutting content when the game, when they release this content a year after the game comes out.
Right. Yeah. Breath of the Wild was kind of like, I mean, they dabbled in it, with Mario Kart, and then they did a lot with Smash on the Wii U, but like on the Switch, it's been insane. And Breath of the Wild was like blew my mind that DLC was going to be in that game. Like I thought they were just going to do it for multiplayer games. When I saw they were doing it for single player games, I thought that was really cool because like games like Breath of the Wild and Mario, where you don't get a new game sometimes for like 4 or 5 years, like you want some DLC in between that so you can actually have some, because those are my like favorite series. I want something to play in those series in between, installments and stuff. And they kind of supplement that with the 2D games, but they're not the same. They're good, but they're not the same. 2D versus 3D, they're just not the same. So having like DLC where you can play more content in between the big new installments is really cool, in my opinion. And plus, it works really well for multiplayer games, too. I mean, the way that they've been doing it with Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 has been amazing. Like, that game has grown so much since it first released. And they're adding new stuff, like, all the time. New guns, new maps, new modes. Like, I kind of thought when they first launched Splatoon 2, they kind of hinted that they weren't going to be any new big multiplayer ranked modes. But then there were. And so I think that's really good. So something like that, because it keeps you playing more and more.
Fun fact, I still haven't played the Clams multiplayer mode in Splatoon 2.
It's not my favorite. It's actually my least favorite mode.
But it is a new multiplayer mode that was not a part of the game.
Some people really like it. It's a really cool concept, it's not my favorite.
Have they added any other modes for Splatoon 2 that I don't know of? Because I haven't been following it, because after I 100%ed Salmon Run, I kind of stopped playing.
Right. Have they? I don't think they have.
Player and Salmon Run, for the record. I'm more of a. I just suck at Splatoon, so I just get wrecked whenever I play. Yeah.
See, when I play Splatoon, I'm the one doing the wrecking, so it's fun.
Oh.
Just wreck
there was a
everyone.
while where I was actually really good. Like for the first couple Splatfests. Like I was, for whatever reason, I was on a good run. Like I was, winning most of my games. I was carrying most of my teams. I think I was using dualies And then
yeah, I used to do this a lot.
I started sucking again. I think whatever it was, whatever streak I was on, I came back to reality, and I continually just got wrecked after that. And after that I only played Salmon Run, not because I gave up, but because there's so many other games for me to play and things for me to do, So, yeah, but I'm pretty, just kind of like, I guess to sum up my point on how Nintendo's been handling DLC, I think they've been getting better and better. I was disappointed with the way they handled DLC for Breath of the Wild, right? But even though I haven't jumped into DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, with everything I'm hearing, the amount of content they're adding, I'm really excited about that. And I think Nintendo has kind of figured it out when it comes to DLC for their games.
Right, yeah. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC is like everything I wanted. It's like everything Breath of the Wild should have been. And so hopefully that's how they take their single player DLC from now on, like actual like new areas and stuff, instead of just like kind of reusing the same areas with a few new things to do in it. Because like that wasn't my favorite in Breath of the Wild. Like I was hoping for like a new, completely new thing. They was just like more. It was like a couple more dungeons and stuff. It was like whatever. It was fun. It just wasn't amazing. Like when I look at Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC, it looks amazing. It is $10 more, but I mean it just looks infinitely better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like for the Zelda DLC, one, they announced it too early, or the way they presented it, caused a lot of backlash. But also, two, it wasn't. It doesn't, the amount of content now, right? And when you compare it to other packages, like what we got for what we're getting for Xenoblade 2, like it doesn't feel like Xenoblade 2, like that story campaign is almost like its own game. It's getting a retail release, right? Albeit it's going to be a download code within a retail package, but still, like it's actually getting a retail release. And with Breath of the Wild, like the amount of content you get with the DLC, while I would say, I'm not going to say it's small, but compared to how much game there already is, it's like less than 1% of what's already in the game.
Right.
But for Xenoblade 2, it's like they're adding. I'm not gonna. Maybe half is an exaggeration, but I don't think it's too far from that.
No,
right?
I don't think it's too far from half. Yeah.
Yeah. So just even though it costs more, it's $30. Like still, like if we look at ratios here, right? Like 1% of Breath of the Wild for $20, right? And let's say 40% of Xenoblade 2 for $30. Like that's, in terms of value proposition, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is offering a lot more, right? And even though I enjoyed the DLC for Breath of the Wild, it still left a lot to be desired. But maybe a lot's an exaggeration. It left a little to be desired. A little.
I don't know. For me, it left a whole bunch. I was hoping it would fix the kind of complete lack of story in that game, nearly. I mean, if it done what they were doing with this DLC, where you actually go back in time, you play through the earlier story segments, like it would have been amazing.
Them to do for Breath of the Wild,
yes.
Did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Nintendo.
Talk about play through the game that they talk about in the story that happened in the past. Like that's what we wanted. It's kind of funny how that turned out, but whatever. I think Nintendo's doing better now, and I think the next Zelda game will probably have better presented and more content with the DLC. I think they'll understand their framework for that, and it'll be more satisfying next time, which will probably be like 3 to 4 years from now.
Right.
But when that happens, it happens. So then, I kind of wanted to just, I guess we'll run through this topic right here, unless there's anything else you want to say.
I'm good.
Oh, I guess I should check the chat too. I'm like way off now because my setup is. There is no setup. I'm doing this from my phone.
Right.
And Brandon's hosting it for me. Like, this is how messed up my internet is.
It's insane.
Whatever. Hey, Stoneman. Hey, Julio. Golden Mustard. Actually, Golden Mustard, I like that prediction. I don't know if it'll happen, but, like, it will totally work. Having Nintendo being an echo for NES, like, it'd be pretty easy to do. At least have, like, they may already do it. I may not even really. At least have like a costume that sort of like represents it at the work. Like if they don't have an echo. But yeah. So, where was I? yeah, so anyways, to the topic of free to play, right? Like playing Paladins is really fun. And as I was going to the Switch eShop and I was looking to download, I was like, oh, free game, free game, free game, free game, free game. And it just looks like there's more and more free games that are going on to Nintendo Switch, right? And Fortnite has been tremendously successful. Actually, yesterday, was it yesterday? It may have been yesterday or the day before, but I met someone. I was driving. I do Lyft, by the way, guys. So, I was driving somebody, and we were just talking about what we do, I mentioned my channel and stuff and how I run a Nintendo channel. And he's like, oh, do you have a Nintendo Switch? I was like, yeah, I have a Nintendo Switch. Or he's like, oh, yeah, I really want to know about that. I want to get a Nintendo Switch so I can play Fortnite on the go. That's why he wants a Nintendo Switch, to play Fortnite on the go. And I was like, what? Well, I didn't say what. I was just like, oh, yeah. Like, the Nintendo Switch is like a really good system because it offers you the console experience wherever you go, right? So, he brought up a great example. Like, he went on vacation like last weekend. He went to the hotel and he brought his PS4 to play Fortnite. But that was really cumbersome. If he had a Switch, he could have just pulled it out of his knapsack and just been chilling on the bed, log onto the Wi-Fi, right? And you're playing Fortnite on the go. And it's super comfortable and super easy to do. And I've seen other people for the same reason. I think literally just because Fortnite is available on the Switch and because it's portable, more people are buying the Switch. Like, even though this game is free and it's available on other systems, there are people out there who are buying the Nintendo Switch just so they can play Fortnite on the go. Even though Fortnite is an online-only kind of game, but just to take it wherever you want, hook up to a hotspot or play on Wi-Fi, people are doing that, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's like the only console that's really innovating and changing it up. Like, when I have a PS4 right here, I got the controller right here, whatever. It's really just a PC with a unique controller. That's all it is. Just a weak PC with a unique controller. Like, there's nothing else really to it. Like, there's no other really advantages that it has, and I could just hook up my PS4 controller straight to my PC, and there you go. It's just like playing on the PS4. There's no other advantages that the PS4 has with it, exclusive games or whatever. Like, the Switch is just a completely different type of console with the Joy-Cons and HD Rumble and the way it uses motion controls and stuff. Like, it's just a completely different beast. Like, the other consoles are pretty much just clones of each other, essentially.
Yeah. Exactly. The Switch is very different, and even for non-Nintendo fans, the Switch is a very compelling piece of hardware because it gives them that.
Andres. Hold on, guys. Oh. Hold on. Andres, you're breaking up. You went into robot mode, Andres.
Right, like at this point over here. We still want the Switch.
There you are. Nope, still robot-y. Oh. Are you better now? Andres. Yeah, futuristic Andres, exactly.
What? This is wrong. What?
You're cutting in and out a lot.
I don't even know why, man. I have no idea why.
Is your signal? You have 5 bars.
I have 5 bars.
I don't know.
5 bars.
That's weird. Oh, you seem to be better now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I have no idea. Today has been like, this is like, we are doing everything possible to get the podcast to happen, yet, you know, it's just like one thing after another. It's just like trying to make this not happen.
I don't know. Well, you seem to be fine now, so I guess your data just signal dropped for a second.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know. Anyways, we're pulling through this, I guess.
Onwards to victory.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear me now, though, right? But anyways, I guess we're in agreement, though, right? That for the record, guys, I think what we're gonna have to do is we're just gonna make this like an hour-long podcast, right? Instead of like, 2 hours, because of all these issues. But anyways, I guess we'll get to the point, though, right? So, what was the last topic? We were talking about free-to-play games. Like, I think it's a really good thing for the Switch, and the way it's kind of working, like, it's helping it to sell really well. Fortnite being the greatest example.
Right. I agree. Fortnite is crazy. The amount of people that play it, and the amount of people, the lengths people would go to get that game is insane. Like, to buy a whole new system just to play it on the go, like, that's crazy. People are too invested. They're ridiculously invested in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it a lot too, but I've been playing it on my PS4 instead because I have my season pass on there, and I can't transfer it over to my Switch.
Right.
I still play sometimes on Switch, but like most of the time I play on PS4.
I will be playing it on the Switch when I go, because in August I'm going to North Carolina, and I can't bring my PC, obviously, so I guess I'll be playing it on the Switch. So that's good. Yeah. It just kind of pisses me off, though. I didn't even realize it when I got the season pass on my PS4. I was like, wait, I can't use this on my Switch. Right. Luckily, I got. Oh no, wait! I did get it on my account. This link to the PS4. Why did I do that? No.
Right. So now we can everything, all the loot, like all the costumes, all the little all the cosmetics that we keep on winning with our season pass, we can't actually use on our Switch.
Right.
And I think that's ridiculous. Of course, this is a point that people have covered already, but because I actually bought a season pass on Fortnite, I'm now feeling the pain of it.
Right. I didn't even buy it on the PS4. I bought it on the PC on an account that just so happened to also be linked to the PS4. Like, that's not right. That's not okay.
Sounds criminal.
It is. Like, that should not be legal. Physically should not be possible. I don't understand why Epic's allowing this to happen. I'm confused. Is PlayStation threatening to take the game off their store if they don't comply with this? Because they gotta be doing some kind of something. Otherwise, Epic wouldn't stand for this.
It's not like Epic can't survive without it having on PS4, but the amount of money they're getting on PS4 is a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a ton. Their install base is huge.
Yeah. Even though I'm a Nintendo fan first, I still bought it on my PS4 instead. Like, that just goes to show you that, Sony's doing it on purpose, because guess what? They're winning. Even though it's wrong, they're still doing it. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Right? Like, my brother's going to buy a PS4, is like, I want to play Fortnite. Oh, so... He wants to, he's going to buy a PS4 so he can play Fortnite, right? Like, these other games, but, like, he's enjoying Fortnite a lot, and even though you can buy all these other systems, the way Sony has it set up, right, by blocking crossplay, by only allowing you to have your account on their system, even though it's wrong, it's actually helping them. Mm-hmm. That's messed up to me. It's actually helping them.
So bad. They're just, like... On one hand, they're just kind of screwing over their fans for more money. That's what they're doing. They're just like forcing they're trying to monopolize the environment, which is not healthy for pretty much anybody.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But nothing we can do about it. We can complain, but we're still playing. I'm still playing on PS4. So yeah. It's part of the problem. We'll see what happens, right? Everyone stay tuned, because I'm sure, I don't know, maybe it's already all blown over and people are just going to accept the fact that Sony's a douche and continue to still buy all their games and systems and play on it because hey, it's working. So, but yeah, let's move on to the main topic now. Unless you guys in the chat have anything to say regarding that.
There was a question earlier I wanted to cover.
A Gaming Public God was saying, imagine if Fortnite got into Smash Bros.
Oh my gosh, who would they use?
Even though I really like Fortnite, I don't want that to happen.
That would be terrible.
I mean, if it happens, I'm not going to be one of those guys saying, "Oh, this is a travesty. How could Sakurai do this? Has he gone crazy?" I'm not going to say that, but I don't want it to happen.
If it gets in instead of Banjo, I'd say all that.
Oh well, because
you got to imagine one character getting in means another character's not, and if Fortnite's getting in, it means somebody else isn't.
So the way I feel about it is that in terms of characters for Smash, right? When certain games like Fortnite, right, or Minecraft, or games that I feel like they don't really place an emphasis on the actual character too much, right? It's not really about the character. It's about the world, I feel like using them as a character in Smash would be a total waste. I think it should be focused on characters that we've come to know and love, that we adore, right? So actually represent a character, and that's probably why it hasn't happened yet, because it's characters that were like, oh, this is really cool, I think it would be dumb to have a Fortnite character, right?
I mean, just if you really have to have something in Smash from Fortnite or Minecraft or something, put a stage in. That would actually be neat.
Or something, right?
Yeah, those would actually be neat without having to put a character in there.
Yeah, and that's something that would definitely be better, for sure. So, what was I gonna say? I don't know, but I think we're in agreement that it shouldn't be that. So let's get into the topic then, the main topic now.
All right.
So I decided to talk about this today. Unfortunately, it looks like the podcast is still going despite all the technical issues. But I decided to talk about this week because it was kind of a slow news week, right? And at the same time, I was thinking, oh wait, this is a slow news week. Could this be the calm before the storm? Right, and when I say that, I mean a lot of times, I'm kind of feeling if there's not that much news coming out now from Nintendo, could it be that they're gonna have, they're gonna be telling us stuff really soon, right? And when you think about it, there's so many release dates we still don't know about, right? And I've been hearing from different people, it's public knowledge that this has been heard from other people, right? So I'm not saying I have any insight for information. I'm saying other people who have insider information have said this publicly, that they know about 2 games that are supposedly coming to the Nintendo Switch and this year, and they haven't been announced yet by Nintendo, even though they're supposed to come. Which is a little weird to me, but it's not entirely unprecedented, right? And we'll get into that in our predictions in a bit, but it's just kind of there are all these signs that, these are obvious signs. We know a Nintendo Direct's coming eventually. I think everyone understands that. It's just a question of when, right? So I feel like August is a good month for that. It could happen later. It wouldn't be the first time Nintendo just oh yeah, maybe January, but then it comes out in March. But I think September is a good time to have a Nintendo Direct. And there are a lot of rumors swirling around right now. Actually, it kind of just broke out before this podcast started that everyone's now saying, oh, August 3rd, which would be this Friday.
I didn't actually hear about that.
Yeah, it literally just sprung up on Twitter.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So maybe August 3rd, and that'd be kind of interesting how I accidentally or coincidentally put this up the Sunday before. But
that'd be cool.
It'd be cool, but at the same time, wouldn't be the first time there was a rumor for a random day and it turned out to be true. Remember, like last week, it was last Sunday, and that was completely wrong. I mean, I never believed it for a second, but
Friday's more believable.
Friday's more believable because it's happened on a Friday before, and that's actually a weekday. Mm-hmm. Part of the business hours, right? Sunday is the day of Sabbath for many people, right? Or just the day of rest, and for a lot of the world, it's not a day to have a Nintendo Direct. I'm almost willing to bet, okay, maybe not my life, but I'm willing to bet hundreds. I'm willing to bet hundreds of dollars that there will never be a Nintendo Direct on a Sunday. Of course, maybe 15 years from now, someone's going to take me up on that. But it's like, hey, you said on such and such day, 15 years ago, that there would never be a Nintendo Direct on a Sunday, and you were wrong, sir. But hopefully,
you will make hundreds of dollars.
Hopefully, 15 years from now, I won't mind paying up a few $100s. But So yeah, I think that was weird, but I definitely think there's one happening in August. What do you think, Brandon?
Really, in August. So I made a whole predictions video on it that you guys can go check out after this podcast. But essentially,
the link to Brandon's channel should be in the description below, by the way, guys. If you haven't met before.
So essentially, I put it between two days, or not 2 days, but two kind of time spans. One of them being like mid to late August is when I was thinking. But another one is I went back and actually checked when it was last year. And it was like September, if I might be a little wrong, but check my video for the exact dates. But September 12th, I think is when it was. It was on a Wednesday. So I was thinking maybe, the second Wednesday of September this year, which would actually be September 13th, I believe, for this year. So I think that's kind of my time span, kind of like right around there is when I think it's going to happen. But I don't know if I think it's going to happen August 3rd. It is kind of the slow news lately, though, so it could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Right.
But that's not exactly when I would predict it to happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the title of this podcast, I'm predicting the Direct to happen sometime in August. When in August? I don't know. But I think it's happening in August. I mean, I part of me wants to say late August because that would be closer to September, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think either August or September for sure we're getting a Direct, and I'm going with August because putting my money where my mouth is because I literally said August until Direct predictions, right? So there we go. Yeah, but whenever it does happen, though, I guess let's talk about that, right? Mm-hmm. So, do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You can go first.
All right. So, I mean, we're gonna go back and forth because probably several predictions we're gonna make. But I think for sure we're gonna be getting dates for a lot of games that have not had a confirmed date yet. For example, Dark Souls Remastered for the Nintendo Switch.
Exactly what I was
still don't have a date for it. And actually, GameXplain just put up a video where they actually had gameplay for it in handheld mode, but a gameplay of it, and it looked like it was running pretty well. And they had kind of went silent on the game for a couple months, and now we're seeing it again. So, that actually could be another point to meet my argument that, hey, maybe it is happening in August because now that they're deciding to show off the game again, maybe they're really close to that time to actually give us a release date, right? Yeah. Another game that they should have announced the release date for, but they didn't, was Ark, right? Like, they announced that they're going to have a physical release, and even the articles they were putting up Ark for physical release, it almost sounded like they're saying, oh, yeah, it didn't say we have release date, but a lot of people were like, "Hey, what about a date?" So I think there's a lot of games that are really close to release already, right? They're bringing out these little details, and we still don't have a date for them. So do we have an official date for Dragon Ball FighterZ already, or do we just have a month?
I don't know.
I'm gonna double check that. Not that it really changes too much about what I'm saying, but. I'm typing with one hand because I'm dumb. All right. Well, apparently it's coming out that January 26th is when it came on other platforms. The Switch. Come on, Google, help me.
You're supposed to do everything, Google. What are you doing?
Yeah. Wow, we got that wrong. It still said January 26th.
Oof.
Yeah, right? September 28th.
September 28th?
I think that's what it's saying, yeah.
Okay, so that should be after the online service launches, I assume? That's probably why.
Oh, right, yeah, because that's right. The other thing, the online service is supposed to come out in September. Yeah. We haven't gotten a date for that yet either, have we?
Nope. Just sometime in September.
That's another reason to have a Nintendo Direct, though.
We don't have a date for Warframe on the Switch either.
Yeah. So all these different games, right, that don't have a release date yet, but are obviously really close to release, right? But we still don't have a release date yet. And again, you just brought up the online service still doesn't have a release date, and I think we have to get a date for that soon. So I think pretty much that places a Direct needing to pretty much doesn't need to happen because they could have a separate announcement for it without actually doing a Direct. But all these different things that need to be said, they need to be officially announced, haven't yet, and they all need to happen before September 28th, right? So. August or September is the time for that direct. But yeah, I think we're going to be getting all release dates for all these different games. I also think there's going to be a couple other things that they're going to announce, right? I was talking about there's a couple games that supposedly Nintendo's supposed to announce for the Switch this year, but haven't. And one of them, I think, is at this point, I'm going to say Metroid Prime Trilogy HD. I think it's weird how literally everyone has speculated on it. And it wouldn't be the first time that certain people with inside sources have quote-unquote speculated on it, right? But I've continually said it. Like, for example, the IGN podcast show, Per Schneider, I've listened to this guy for years, right? And he runs IGN. Of course he knows things. Of course he knows things. This is confirmed information. This is not speculation here. It's we all know he knows things that we don't know, right? And there you can go back and watch the podcast, guys. There are several times like, oh, well, it would be really cool if they had a game about this or a game about this. Great example, like a week before the Star Fox Grand Prix rumors sprouted up and there was a whole announcement by Eurogamer and stuff. Per Schneider was speculating, because they asked him, what would you like to see at E3? He's like, it'd be really cool if we got like a Star Fox racing game. He literally
That's not a coincidence at all.
Right. Yeah. Of course, they didn't show off the game or anything, but they asked him. They asked him to predict. Like, see, he didn't know everything, right? But the fact that he speculated about a Star Fox racing game, and then a week later, several reports come out suggest. Well, it's still not confirmed information, guys. So let's just I don't want. I just want to make that clear. It's not confirmed by Nintendo yet, but it's confirmed by pretty much everyone else. It's basically like a Mario Rabbids situation again.
Right.
Except they didn't show it off at E3. So that brings me to the second game. What if that second game is Star Fox Racing? I think that's too much for them to not have announced at E3. I think Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is an easier one because it's just a remake of a game that already exists. Right, and to be honest with you, I don't think Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is going to look like a Metroid Prime running on Unreal Engine, right? I think they're going to take what they got for Trilogy HD on the Wii version, right? Maybe clean up the textures even more, right? We'll give it like an HD texture set and improve the lighting, and maybe spruce up a couple particle effects, right? And that's it.
Right.
Basically like a Twilight Princess HD sort of thing. But Metroid Prime, I think, ages a lot better than Twilight Princess.
Oh yeah. I was running the game the other day in Dolphin, and you can download a special version of Dolphin that lets you have like a bunch of different effects and toolkits. And I added Bloom into that game, threw it up to 1440p, and
oh my god,
it looked so fucking good. Like, it was amazing. Bloom lighting is something that they really need to add if they do an HD remake, because I added Bloom in there, in just the kind of like fake bloom that you can add with these effects looked really good. So, and I've seen some other people do some really cool effects with it. And if you look up like Metroid Prime Trilogy HD or Metroid Prime HD, there's some people who have put up pictures of what they think it could look like, and pretty much it's just them and Dolphin fiddling around with all kinds of different lighting settings and stuff, and they look really good. Obviously, you could tell it's rough around the edges because it's faked, so it's just not going to look as good as it should, and there's no HD textures and stuff, but it's a good kind of reference about how it could look, or how I think it would look.
I mean, I think it's cool to look at that, but personally, I think when we see Metroid Prime 4, it's just going to look completely different. I'm not saying it's going to be like a weird cartoony style or something like that. I think it's going to look kind of gritty,
Oh, I'm talking about Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, not Metroid Prime 4. These are not Metroid Prime 4 mock-ups. These are just people trying to figure out how a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD would look.
Oh yeah, no. In that case, right? Yeah, I think they're 100% spot on. I thought you were. You know what it is? Because I was watching Spawnwave, and he had a video talking about this recent thing that came out. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it. I saw the title. I still need to go back and see it.
Well, I mean, he linked it to someone else who made a completely rendered Talon 4 Overworld. You know, the first, like, the forest waterfall level in Metroid Prime when you first land on the planet.
Yeah.
Someone recreated that entire level with Unreal Engine 4, and it looks mind-blowingly good. Right? Like, Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is not going to look that good.
Is it the same person who does all the remakes for like Ocarina of Time that look amazing?
I would have to double check.
That guy is talented. He does the remakes. He does Unreal Engine 4, and his earlier mock-ups aren't that good, but his newer ones, as he's getting better, look really good. His Zora's Domain one looks really good. Obviously, you can tell it's just one guy making stuff in Unreal Engine 4. If they actually made a game in Unreal Engine 4, then it would look a lot better, but it still looks really good. It's really impressive.
Yeah, well, the one thing about a lot of those Unreal Engine, I'm not saying this particular you're talking about because I don't know what you're talking about, right? But a lot of the Unreal Engine, like, you know, tech demos or that are like simulating different games, like, the animation always looks really, really stiff. And it's like, even though, like, objectively, oh, this is really pretty, right? Like, polygon-wise, texture-wise, lighting-wise, but, like, the animation...
Oh, yeah, the animations are garbage.
So off.
Animations is from what I've heard of game development, animations is one of the hardest parts to get right. So a lot of these people with just one guy, they get the animations, they're just not good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you understand how much work it is, you can't reasonably expect someone to, like, do all of that work. If someone does, then, you know, they deserve applause for it. Like, that's them going more than just above and beyond. But yeah, man, like, just bring us back, like. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those, you know, people just not remaking Metroid Prime Trilogy in Unreal, but like just enhancing stuff. Right?
You know what I do not like about some of the tech demos is they'll just like it be an open world and it'll just be like grass or like it doesn't even come close to the art style. It's just like random Unreal Engine 4 effects everywhere, and they're like, oh, Unreal Engine 4 remake of such and such game, even though it looks absolutely nothing like it in any way, shape, or form. I hate those. It's not impressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like seeing giant sprawling fields of grass. That's why Breath of the Wild is the greatest game ever. But you know, I still like looking at them, but you know.
But it's not a remake of such and such game. It's just not. Like, imagine if you saw Breath of the Wild remake, but it was just like typical, like generic Unreal Engine 4 grass and some generic trees on a, you know, it meant to look a little bit like parts of Breath of the Wild. Like, you would not be satisfied with that. Like, it's just not the same.
No. So, let me ask you the question, though. I don't know if I got an answer from you. Do you agree? Okay, I need to go back a couple steps. So, one, because I said several things. One, supposedly, according to some people, there are 2 games that are going to be published by Nintendo that have not been announced yet that are coming this year, right? Assuming that's true, there are 2 games that I'm speculating that are one that I'm really confident on, another one that I'm just sort of throwing it out there, but I think it would probably be something else. The one being Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, which I think there's a high likelihood of that. The other that I suggested could potentially be Star Fox Racing, but I feel like that's way too crazy of something for them to announce and not having announced that at E3. A remake of something, okay. A port of something, like maybe we get Xenoblade X HD or something. Well, it's already HD. But like Xenoblade X on Switch, like that would be something that's possible. I don't think it would happen because of the DLC for Xenoblade 2, right?
Right.
But, you know, that's a possibility. There's other games that they could port from Wii U. But anyways, do you agree that there are 2 games that Nintendo could be announcing for this year? And if so, do you think one of them is Metroid Prime Trilogy HD?
I'd say there's a high likelihood of there being 2 more games. I mean, Nintendo said, like, there's more games coming. They said they haven't announced even their full first-party lineup. So obviously there's something coming, because they said there was. So I think Metroid Prime HD makes sense. But I think another one, which might disappoint somebody, is it's probably just going to be another Wii U port, to be honest. It's probably just going to be Metroid Prime Trilogy HD and another Wii U port. Maybe some people are saying Super Mario, New Super Mario Bros. I really hope it's not. Some people are saying Super Mario 3D World. I'd be fine with that. That'd be kind of fun to play that game again. That one's actually good. I would hope if they did a port that it'd be like Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD in one bundle, because I'd buy that in an instant. But it seems unlikely because Nintendo and I don't know. I feel like they would port Mario first. But I think it would be a Wii U port, to be honest. Maybe Mario Maker.
If I had to pick between 3D World and Mario Maker, I would pick Mario Maker. Actually, I was gonna say that.
I think Nintendo would too. The amount of like crazy, it took over the internet for a long time. Even on the Wii U, it took over Twitch and YouTube for streams.
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah.
Imagine how good it would do on the Switch.
Ridiculous. Add like crazy customization, and it goes to another level. So I think getting Mario Maker on Switch is a great idea. I guess that question, is it going to be a port, or are they just going to focus on creating a new game of it, right? That's kind of more like a 1.5-ish, but they branded it as a new game.
Right. I don't know why they would. I think it would be a port, but it'd be a 1.5. I don't think there's a whole another game that you can make out of Mario Maker. Like, they can add new Mario, games into the mix, and they can add new items and slants. For real, why are those not in there? So they could do stuff, but it's not like there's not enough to make a Mario Maker 2. At least I wouldn't brand it as that, because I feel like there's not enough to a Mario Maker game to make a whole new installment.
This is kind of going off tangent, but I just realized something. We didn't really get any Nintendo 3DS stuff at E3.
Right.
They need to have a 3DS Direct, or a Direct where they talk about the 3DS stuff, right? Because we don't have dates for any. Well, we have to have it though, don't we? Right? Like
I don't.
We need a release date for Luigi's Mansion Remake.
That game could be canceled, and I wouldn't care. All the games on 3DS could be canceled, and I wouldn't care. They could go on a 3DS purge and burn all the 3DSs in the world. I wouldn't care. Okay, maybe I would, but still.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I forgot about it. But I feel like they need to address that at some point. They need to. So then, just kind of going back though to what we were saying, I like the idea of Mario Maker coming out on Switch this year, like personally. But when I just think about like Mario Odyssey, like I feel like I think they need to. I think the DLC for Mario Odyssey is totally happening. So
right.
I don't think they're gonna have Mario Maker come out this year. Like, even though it's 2D Mario versus 3D Mario expansion, right? Like I don't think they need both. I think it's one or the other. So I'm gonna side with Mario Odyssey DLC, but this DLC is more expansive and extensive than the Breath of the Wild DLC. Something similar to Xenoblade, where they may even offer like a retail version of this expansion, right? Which may come with maybe 2 to 4 worlds that have like a little mini story. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking actually, because they've been so quiet on it. I'm thinking that they've been developing it for 6, maybe almost a year. Because remember, so apparently Super Mario Odyssey was pretty much complete when the Switch came out.
Yeah, it was pretty much complete when they announced it, from what I heard.
Yeah, so they've had a lot of time. They could have
2 years, I guess, if it comes out this holiday.
I'm not saying they create a whole other game, but maybe something that's $20-$30 that qualifies as an expansion that they could have a retail release for.
I don't know if they would do a retail release, just because I feel like if you do a retail release, you need a story to tie it all together. I don't know if there would be a story to it.
I think they would have a. Well, hear me out. So if you go to and play almost every single kingdom of Super Mario Odyssey has a built-in story to the world. Like, when you play each kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey, the kingdom is not the same from when you start to when you.
Right.
So there's the kingdom changes slightly as you progress throughout the events in that kingdom. So I think each kingdom, however many they introduce, be it 1, 2, 3, or 4 or whatever. I mean 4 is a lot. I understand that, but I think whatever kingdoms they do have for this potential DLC, which is not confirmed yet, right? This could all be wrong. I'm not losing sight of that. But if it's all true, I think they would introduce these kingdoms, and each of these kingdoms wouldn't just be like, oh, here's more levels. I think they'd be, oh, here's more levels, and there's something going on with each of these kingdoms. I'm not saying it's a super serious story. Maybe Baby Bowser. It's like, hey, you beat my dad. Well, I'm going to steal Peach instead, right? And then you have to go to these 4 different kingdoms.
They would do that, wouldn't they?
And there's just some mayhem that happens in each of those kingdoms, and oh my god, yes, that's what's happening. This is why, because think about it. If they use Baby Bowser, and they have Isle Delfino DLC, I'm sure you already connected the dots, right? They could even go the Shadow Mario route. And you go to Isle Delfino, and it's a mess. And you have to do some missions and help clean it back up again, right? It's like, oh my god, it's a mess just like 3 years ago, back when you're on vacation here, right? So, I think that is what's happening.
Is that the canon? Maybe. There's only 3 years between Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Odyssey?
You heard it here first, guys.
That's the official canon of that?
You heard it here first. That is not the official canon. I have no idea how long it's been between Isle Sunshine in Mario Odyssey, but I think that would work really well. So
I think it would too, actually. Now that you said that, that's a good idea.
So, thanks, but I mean that's the point I'm trying to make, though, right? Like if they introduce new kingdoms, I think that each need to have a little bit of story to them because that's how the other kingdoms worked in Mario Odyssey.
Right.
And if they do that, then you have 2 to 4 kingdoms with nothing super extensive to the story. Like I'm not saying you have to have a whole bunch of new cutscenes and new music, but some stuff. And then that can be packaged as an expansion pass, kind of like the Xenoblade 2 story.
I still don't know if that could be an expansion. Just because Xenoblade 2 tells, like, a whole big, like, story with new cutscenes and, like, it's got new areas, but it goes way farther than that, telling an entire story. Like, I could see them having little mini-stories in each world, but even if there was a story that went over, like, I don't think it'd be big enough to package it by itself. I feel like they would still just have it as an expansion just for the game. They wouldn't package it on its own.
Right, I mean, I think that's fair. And to be honest with you, I didn't come up with this idea until recently when I was thinking about how it all comes together. So we'll see. Right? And at the same time, like, yeah, they normally don't have, like, retail packages for DLC. They've done it a couple times. They did it. Well, they're doing Xenoblade 2, right? But that is definitely like a huge story, right? They did it a long time ago with Super Luigi U. Remember New Super Mario Brothers U? They had DLC and they had a retail version for the Luigi DLC.
Yeah, they did. That was pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, but that was years ago at this point, right? Yeah. So I mean, different Nintendo now. So.
And the 2D games never have any sort of story. 3D ones actually have some kind of plot to them. The 2D games have, like, the most lame, basic plot ever in the universe.
Well, that's what I'm kind of saying, but I feel like if they were to have a story for Odyssey, it would be really simple. Like, oh, Baby Bowser, super angry, steals Peach. Oh, you have to go around these 3 or 4 kingdoms and, save them. But, even if they did that, they don't have to have a retail release for it.
Right.
Good night, Julio. Thanks for coming by, man. So yeah,
I just a full retail release for some reason doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't make. I guess it just doesn't make sense as much as it does to you for me.
Well, I just think it's a possibility. I'm not saying I'm super confident that that's what's going to happen. But I'm just assuming that there's going to be. I'm assuming there's 2 announcements that are published by Nintendo, right? So. Maybe they'd still. So let's say there isn't a retail release, which that's what you think, and I'm willing to concede that that's not likely either, right? I just think it's possible, but not likely.
Right.
Then, if they have Mario Odyssey DLC, would that constitute as a second game for them, right? Like. Because they kind of treat it like if you go and you check like the release, like Nintendo has had those promotions where they say, "Oh, these are all the games that are coming to Switch this year." They include the Xenoblade 2 DLC, the Torna DLC, and they include the Octo Expansion DLC, right?
Right.
So if they brand those as their own individual games within their promotions for the games that are coming out this year, I guess Mario Odyssey, if they were to have this paid DLC to come out this year, would fall under that category too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Octo Expansion isn't a whole new game. So
it's not. No, it's not. But I'm just that.
So yeah, I guess since they are branding it that way and it's not its own new game, I guess it's safe to say that Mario Odyssey DLC would definitely be branded that way as well.
Right. I mean, it makes it seem like, oh, see, this is not so bad, right?
Yeah, right. It's just another thing that they can add to the schedule to make it look better.
Really better, especially you throw that in with Metroid Prime. So those are my predictions then for like new stuff that Nintendo will announce at this theoretical direct that is not confirmed yet, guys. Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, Super Mario Odyssey DLC. That's what I'm predicting. I think Mario Maker will happen next year.
Yeah, it might.
But for the record, I think Mario Maker and Xenoblade X can be ported over from Wii U next year. Although Mario Maker might be not treated as a port, might be something else. But.
I'm thinking Skyward Sword HD could also come out next year, but that's just a whole nother topic for a whole nother time.
Yeah, I mean,
what would you think if Pikmin 4 got released this year?
That would be mind blowing. I would not. I don't see that happening.
I'd say the chances are very low, but it's a possibility. Just because it's Pikmin.
It's a possibility for Nintendo to release Pikmin 4 tomorrow on the eShop. I believe that game's been done for like forever, right. But it's not going to happen. But I mean,
it's like, just the kind of game that you can slot in anywhere you want. Like anytime there's a slow, time.
I mean, late October is still a slot that hasn't been taken up, right? Like Mario Party is coming out early October, so I think it's October 5th, if I remember correctly.
August and September are kind of dead, to be honest. There's nothing I want to get until Super Mario Party. It's like the only game I'm looking forward to until then.
Well, for me, I'm waiting on Dark Souls Remastered, and I'm really curious how that Arc port is, because I've seen how Arc runs on PS4, and it runs worse than a trash heap on a potato. Like, it's
is it worse than Fortnite Switch?
Yeah, I don't. Fortnite Switch is running like this incredible thing when you look how poorly Arc runs on PS4. But I'm really curious how badly Arc is going to run on Switch unless they make some serious optimizations for the Switch version. Actually, and part of me thinks that's what's going to happen, that the Switch version may actually end up running better than the PS4 version because of that. I don't know why, but I guess just because, I don't know, like, it's already running, like, it's weird, man. If you ever play Arc on PS4, my cousin's been playing, like, she's, like, super into it, but whenever I see her playing, like, because she has, like, this base that has everything, like, she has, like, 20 dinosaurs packed into a box, and it runs at like 5 frames per second.
Oh my gosh. Well, from what I heard when they first announced it, they said just like a few weeks after they started working on the project, it was already running at a consistent like 20 to 30 frames per second. But I mean, that could be when nothing's happening, so we don't know.
Right, that's the thing though. Like if she goes away from her base, right, it runs. I'm not saying good. It's still bad. Like I notice like a lot of drops here and there, but it's still it's not like so frustrating that you want to vomit. Right,
I wonder if it's a CPU issue, just because CPUs on modern consoles suck so much.
Yeah, but like if it runs like that on PS4, I have to think that unless they're like, are they just gonna slap this thing on there and it's gonna chug it like, you know, like
2 FPS?
It's gonna be basically like watching like you know, like
literally a slideshow.
It's gonna be a PowerPoint.
Oh my god.
In fact, they're not using Unreal Engine to port the game. They're using PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh! What if they were?
Yeah, they're using PowerPoint. I don't know, man, but yeah, I'm interested to see how that runs. At least I don't know if I'll buy it. Maybe. Definitely gonna buy Dark Souls Remastered. The Metroid Prime Trilogy. It actually, yeah, I like what Sam does Gaming just said. What if Metroid Prime Trilogy releases in late October? I think it would fit. I think it would be a perfect fit for it. In fact, when I thought Metroid Prime 4 had a shot coming out this year, I was like, it's gonna, you know, I think that's a Metroid game coming out late October, and Metroid Prime Trilogy would fit really nice there, I think.
Right. Well, Sabbath64 is saying, why not Pikmin 3 port for the Switch? And I don't know, why not a Pikmin 3 port for the Switch? I don't see why it couldn't happen.
Because Pikmin 4 has been done for like 2 or 3 years.
True. That's pretty true. Other than that, I don't see why not.
Or let me be politically correct. It's been almost done since like 2015.
I suspect that they completely scrapped like most of it and are just like completely. I wonder if they scrapped engines. What if they're trying to remake it on Unreal Engine 4? Because the Wii U engine probably sucks on the Switch. To be honest, like you see how bad Breath of the Wild ran when the Switch first came out on the Switch, and that game should be just. The Switch should just tank that game so hard and just run it super well at 1080p, stable 30 FPS, but it didn't because it was on the Wii U, and the Wii U's engines suck. So I wonder if they would just completely remake this thing in Unreal Engine 4. This sucks. It runs so bad.
And there's a decent amount of DLC that came out for Pikmin 3 too, so they could package it in all together and change up the controls, because I don't like the Wii U controls
I didn't either.
For Pikmin 3. That's what turned me off to it, to be honest with you. So I haven't finished it yet.
Playing it with the Joy-Con, like you did with the Wii remote, would be nice. Kind of the pointer controls and stuff.
Right, but as long as the default controls are dual analog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd be fine with that.
You know what you just remind me of? Would Metroid Prime Trilogy HD be one stick controls like it was on the GameCube? Because I hate that so much.
I think it'll be dual analog.
It honestly better. I mean, there's probably just gonna be the pointer controls as well, like the Wii one, but like I don't want to use the single, like when I play it on Dolphin, I have to use like the single joystick, and it's just terrible. It's really not good.
It's just so different. And no, I think the standard now is the way, because Metroid Prime Trilogy HD was on Wii, right? That was, it's basically using dual analog controls, except that second analog is with the IR sensor, right?
Right.
So I feel pretty confident in saying that they'll go to dual analog controls and they'll offer gyro aiming. In fact, I feel like Metroid Prime Trilogy HD will give us a great idea of how Metroid Prime 4 will play, right? Because I am 100%, 100% is not actually true, but I am very, very confident that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be dual analog with gyro aiming, right? Like, that's why I made a Wolfenstein 2 video talking about that. Like, if you play Wolfenstein 2 or Doom, that'll give you a reasonable idea of how Metroid Prime 4 will play, I think. Obviously, they're two completely different games, but like just an idea of how you move and aim around, I think they'll be very similar.
I think there's the option though that Metroid Prime might be a lot faster. Metroid Prime 4 might be a lot faster than the other ones. I mean, we had the kind of idea that it would be faster. There might be what's it called? Where you kind of like bounce off the walls and stuff. Parkour.
Screw attack.
What?
What?
No, parkour. Is what I was thinking, the word I was thinking of. So we were thinking there might be some parkour elements in it, stuff like that. So I think it could be...
Yeah, absolutely.
But as terms as like the dual sticks and the motion controls, yeah, I think it could control like that.
Well, I mean, Doom is pretty fast-paced, and even in Wolfenstein 2,
Doom
like,
is
there are
very fast-paced.
There are some attacks that you do on the run, like a charging attack, like there are some things that are done in those games, and I think, with Metroid Prime, it'll be really fast-paced. So, I guess like a really interesting example of how potentially Metroid Prime 4 could be would be kind of like, look how Mirror's Edge plays and combine that with dual analog first-person shooter controls with really good gyro aiming that we see like in Doom or even better Wolfenstein 2. Combine that all together, and that might be how Metroid Prime 4 plays, of course, but with all the mechanics from Metroid Prime. Like,
Have you ever played Doom?
Doom?
Mm-hmm.
No, not the new one. I haven't played it yet.
You need to play the new one. It's so much like Metroid Prime, the way the platforming is. It's pretty crazy. There's double jumping that you can unlock. There's platforms everywhere. It's kind of like in a more alien type environment. It feels a lot like Metroid Prime.
And it has aliens.
Yeah. Or technically they're demons, but they feel like aliens.
It's on Mars. They're aliens.
Technically, I guess they are aliens then.
They're Martians. So,
technically, I guess that they would be Martians. But I guess they live in another dimension. They just happen to be on Mars.
I think it's all about perspective, right? Like, this is like a non-gaming conversation right now. But, like, so, like, demons, like, just think of it this way. Like, if you're someone who doesn't really think about aliens or anything like that, but if these creatures come from somewhere you don't understand and they look weird as hell and they're attacking you, and you're super religious, you're going to call them demons, right? You're not going to call them aliens. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I'm just saying, like, it's all about perspective. Like, aliens, demons, you don't know where they're coming from, and they're evil and they want to kill you, and it's weird.
In the end, it's all the same. You're probably going to die, so,
yeah.
It's the same.
Not that I assume that all aliens are going to automatically want to kill us and eat us, but,
That's all the movies say.
That's what the movies say, but, maybe if they're so advanced that they've like evolved beyond
murder,
like, just like the way we are as humans, like we like just conquer, right? Like maybe
they met Martian Naruto.
I don't know.
That's what happened. They met Martian Naruto, and now they're all good.
Yeah, we're going really off tangent now, but yeah, I was kind of thrown off when I found out there were aliens in Naruto too, but yeah, just going back to the actual direct predictions, right? Like, I think Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, if there's going to be new stuff, right, is a good bet. I think Mario Odyssey DLC is a good bet, and I think everything else that we already know about is what's coming. We're going to get release dates for everything, and then we'll get into Smash stuff when I guess we'll see your points and we address the chat with that, but that's what I'm thinking we're going to get.
Right. Oh, gosh. What even are my points? Let's see here. I definitely agree that Metroid Prime Trilogy HD is going to be coming out this year. Honestly, I think it's pretty high up on my I'd say the chance of it happening is probably around 80% for me personally. I think it's
there's
very
a possibility.
likely.
It might not be the whole trilogy. It might just be the first Metroid Prime.
I'd be disappointed.
I'd be disappointed too, and I'd also be a little thrown off by it because kind of part of the the arguments for Trilogy HD is that it would kind of give players the whole story of the trilogy before going to Metroid Prime 4, which hypothetically speaking could come out next year, right? Like, so if it's only the first Metroid Prime, it would be a little weird in that way. But also, Metroid Prime Trilogy, when you combine all 3 games, that's a huge game to work on. That's a lot to bring up to modern standards.
True, but I mean, they may technically already have HD assets for a lot of the stuff. Reworking lighting's not that hard, to be honest, and well, yeah, most of it would just be HD textures and lighting, to be honest. That's all I think they would mostly what they would change, because that game holds up really well. You slap that game into 1080p, it holds up. You don't even need the HD textures. But
What
I
if
think
Retro Studios is developing the Trilogy HD?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, why not? They made Metroid Prime Trilogy, they made the 3 Metroid Primes, and since it's an HD remake, it wouldn't require all the resources for a whole other game, And what if that's why we didn't get a Star Fox Grand Prix release, assuming that's real, right, announcement, because they're also actually working on Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, which is coming out this year. Why that hasn't been announced yet, that's another interesting question that I do not have the answer to. Actually, what do you think about that, Brandon? If Metroid Prime Trilogy actually is coming out this year, right, the HD one that we all speculate about, why didn't they announce it at E3?
I don't know. Because they're crazy. Because they're Nintendo.
For those still listening, right? Or even if you're watching this after the fact in the comments, I think it's an interesting question, right? If Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming out this year, which is not confirmed yet, we're predicting it, but it's not confirmed yet. If it happens, why didn't they announce it at E3? Why did they wait so long?
Because they'd be tripping. Why did they wait for Doom?
Right.
It came out in November.
Why?
The heck?
Why did they? That's true.
Because
Doom was announced in October. It came out in November.
You know what it is?
Last year.
It's because they want to spread out the hype. They gotta spread out the hype. Keep it the whole year. You can't just be hyped one time a year and then just kind of expect that to hold until the next E3. It's because the nature of them actually doing directs is why they don't announce everything at E3. It's because the directs exist. So why would they announce everything at E3 if they can just announce them in directs and get you hyped up all over again? Get millions of people watching Nintendo all over again in the direct.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And you mentioned Metroid, and all of a sudden people just book it to whatever the hell it is. Like, it doesn't matter. You just say Metroid, and they're just like, right there.
So then I'm going to use this as a jumping point into what I think we're going to talk about for Smash at the Direct. Because I think Smash is going to be the way they're going to end the Direct. But what if, so we get announcements for the Mario Odyssey DLC. They showed it off early on in the Direct, right? Early on in the Direct, they showed them on DLC, the trailer for Mario Odyssey DLC. They give us a date. They show trailers for the different games that have been announced, but we don't have a release date for them. A little bit more about Mario Party, a little bit more about Pokemon Let's Go. Maybe even they throw in a couple more third-party announcements as well, right? That sort of throw us out that we don't expect, that we don't see coming. What exactly could they bring? I haven't really thought about it. I'm not going to say Grand Theft Auto. I think at this point that ship has sailed. But there could be a few new third-party games. By new, I mean old ports. The games that came out like 6 months to a year ago.
Right.
And then, then towards the end, but not at the end, maybe, end, quote unquote. I think maybe they could have Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, and then it could be a trailer for that, and then that trailer was seamlessly transitioned into a CGI trailer of Dark Samus. And then boom, Echo character, or even not Echo character, some sort of Echo or normal Dark Samus character for Smash Ultimate, and then talk about Smash Ultimate and then the show.
Right. Yeah, I think they probably will end it with Smash. I think they're just going to do a bunch of Smash branding from now on. But obviously I don't think they're going to go real far into it, because I think there's going to be their own Smash Direct, probably November, leading up to that game. So they're going to want, when they really blow everything out, talk about, hopefully, the story mode, and any kind of new modes or anything they have, single-player stuff, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of finish telling us everything about it. Obviously they're going to have their own Direct for that, but yeah, I could see an Echo character or another character getting announced at the end, just a drum of hype. That would be super. I think like that'd be a really good direct. To be honest, you mentioned like there's Mario, there's Metroid, and there's Smash in one direct. Like that would just be hype. Would be through the roof.
Yeah, it'd be crazy, right?
So as such, since it's so crazy, I would predict that we're actually going to be kind of disappointed compared to what we're saying right now. I think there's going to be one thing that we're predicting, like one big thing that we're predicting that's not going to happen.
Yes, that's right. Probably, almost certainly, yeah. And I'm sad. I think the safest one is not having another Metroid character announced. I think that is unlikely to actually happen, right? But I do think they're definitely going to end the direct with Smash. I think the Smash aspect, it could just be a character announcement at the end, right? Which, if that were the case, that would work to my, let's not even call it prediction, whimsical fantasy of them showing a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD trailer, having a release date for that in late October, then transitioning to a CGI trailer of Dark Samus, which looks almost like something from Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, but is actually a Smash Ultimate announcement. That's my whimsical fantasy. That's not even a real prediction.
Right.
But I do think they'll definitely show off Smash. That I'm 100% sure they're going to show Smash. Okay, 99.9% sure. You never really know.
Right.
Yeah.
What if the last thing they talk about is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC, and then they transfer into Rex and Pyra for Smash? This is my whimsical fantasy. Then they just transfer into Rex and Pyra for Smash, and that's how they end it. Like, that would be hype. Probably not going to happen, but they're going to.
I think that would be pretty cool, too, honestly. I'd be fine with that, actually. I'd be fine with that.
I'd be so hyped.
Another possibility, though, is that they'll have another direct will bring up the Torn DLC again before it comes out, right? According to the eShop, it's slated for October 31st, but I'm pretty sure it's a placeholder. Do we have a set date for that?
For Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC?
Yeah, the Torn DLC. I don't think we
do. I don't remember what it is. I talked about it at some time, and I remember there being one. Let me look it up.
I checked the eShop, and it was said October 31st, but that really looked like a placeholder. So if it has been announced, I feel like, unless October 31st is the date, which would be weird.
I saw an image where it said the exact date, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, it's, what is that, September 14th. That is the official date. I'm on the official page. It says available 9/14.
So why is it on?
The retail version's coming out the retail version's coming out September 21st. By the way, I mentioned that's where I mentioned it. Yeah, it's coming out a little bit later for the actual package. Physical version's coming out a little bit later, but you can buy the Torn DLC digitally before then. But I wonder why I knew this, and that's because I mentioned it in my video about the direct predictions.
And why is it October 31st on the eShop still?
Because the eShop just refuses to update. I don't know.
Yeah, they're dumb. So there's some questions in the chat. Let me get to them, and then I guess we'll go back. But one, Microwrap, he's asking, how many newcomers do you guys believe will be in the game? So I did a Smash predictions video, and even though my mind can change on what characters may or may not make it, I feel like the total roster, once the game comes out, will be at 76. So if you count all of the Echo characters and the Mii fighters and stuff that we currently know about, we're at 68. So I think there's 8 more newcomers that will be announced. But I also think there's going to be some DLC as well. How far that will go, that remains to be seen. But I think once the day one, December 7th, we'll have 76 total characters. But that's the number I feel is what we're going to be getting. Brandon, what do you think?
To put an exact number, I don't know, but I think as far as brand new ones, I agree with Microwrap, probably like 8 or less, to be honest. Like, not that many. Sakurai himself said, hey guys, look here, there's not going to be that many new fighters. We're bringing back everyone, and that means we can't, make a ton of new fighters. So I think probably less than 10. If I had to guess, less than 10.
Okay. Yeah, we're not too far from each other. So, but I also think there's gonna be DLC. Do you think there's gonna be DLC characters?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be DLC characters for sure. They're gonna want to monopolize on this game, as much as they can. I mean, how much money they made on the Wii U from DLC, they're gonna want it on the Switch. Plus, if there's not DLC, people will be upset. People want to pay them to get new characters. They want this. There's no reason for them not to. They would literally be losing money and upsetting the fans if they did not do DLC. Such a double whammy.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeesh. My internet went out. It's gone out like 20 times during this entire podcast, which is why I'm doing this from my phone. But so I missed certain things that were said on the chat.
Snowman asks, could I just hop into 3, or do I need to start with the first one? Which series are you talking about?
Oh, he's talking about Metroid Prime. Probably.
Oh, do you?
I don't think you need to hop in it. I think you can play each of them individually, and you'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can play either of them. I think, ideally you should play Metroid Prime 1 first. I think it's the best in the series, and I think if you play Metroid Prime 3, you might get a different idea of what the series is, right? But all 3 of them are really good games, and you can play either one. Heck, if you decide to wait for Metroid Prime 4, I think that'll be fine too. But
probably, yeah.
I think, but if you have a choice, I say play Metroid Prime 1. If you're gonna play any Metroid Prime game, play Metroid Prime 1. I wouldn't be too concerned about the story, but I will say that if you're someone who likes to investigate and explore, Metroid Prime has scanning, so you scan the environment and you learn more about reading computers and lore and hieroglyphics and stuff. You learn more about the people who were there before you and the space pirates and their research and just even scanning dead bodies and carcasses, learning how they died, gives you an idea of what's going on in the world and the story. It's really interesting in that way. So I recommend playing Metroid Prime 1 first, just because I think as a game itself, it's the best representation of what Metroid Prime is. But you can play any of them story-wise, in my opinion. It won't really affect your enjoyment.
It's actually the only one I've played is the first one. I just never have gone around to getting the second or third one, so... And I've seen you, because you streamed it a while back, the second one, and to be honest, it looks kind of tedious to me, the way you have to move through both the worlds. There's, in the Dark World, you're constantly getting your health drained. There's just a lot of things about it that, some people might enjoy, but it's just, for me, that kind of hinders my experience, and it makes me feel like... I really, when I look at Metroid Prime 2, it does not make me want to play it.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 2 is considered the hardest of the trilogy. Metroid Prime 3 is considered the easiest, and Metroid Prime 1 is considered the perfect balance.
Metroid Prime 1 is amazing. I have to say, it's really, really good.
Yeah, so definitely Metroid Prime 1. Metroid Prime 2 is harder. It's the only game I haven't finished yet, although I'm close. I've been replaying it again recently, and I've streamed it. At this point, it's not recent anymore. It's been a month, but I'm close to fighting Quadraxis. So I'll probably, once I get my PC set up, which will probably be hopefully less than a month from now, but let's say 3 weeks, maybe 4. Hopefully.
Nice.
Hopefully. Stressing the hopefully part because I have so many bills to pay and so many different things keep coming up. But yeah, just to get back to the one more question from Flametime. Do you think they will talk about the online service? I kind of touched on it earlier, way earlier. I think there's a good chance, because the online service is coming out in September. So if there's hypothetically speaking, if there's an Nintendo Direct in August, right? Then there's a possibility. I think they don't talk about it, right? And then they have a separate either announcement or Direct for the online in early September.
Honestly, if they don't talk about this Direct, I don't think they're going to mention it in Direct at all. It's just we keep saying oh, they have to show the online in Direct. They're going to show an online in this Direct. Every time Direct gets announced, people predict they'll show the online, and they never do. They showed on. Right. They've shown it. They've talked about it a lot of times on their website, which is where they seem to prefer to talk about it. But they've never talked about it in Direct. So I'm wondering if we may not get to see it in a Direct at all. But I think they probably should put it in Direct just to get it in a wider, area of people being able to see it. Because a lot of people aren't gonna go to the website and find the online service section check a lot of people aren't gonna see the you know, IGN talking about how they updated their website, but they could definitely see it if they talk about it in a direct. So I think they should mention it in a direct at least. Maybe if they don't talk about exactly like, oh, we have a ton of new updates for the online service in our website. You can check it out now after the direct or something like that. At least mention it so people are aware.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I think there's definitely a good chance that it won't even be in a direct. They don't need to. The way they've announced all the online stuff for the Switch so far, which isn't very much, but everything they have announced has been not for the direct. So, yeah.
I would kind of be shocked if they actually talked about it in the direct, because they haven't seemed to want to talk about it like in a video format at all.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I guess going back to the conversation though, right? So we're both pretty high on Metroid Prime Trilogy HD being announced. We're gonna get release dates for pretty much everything. We both are hoping we get Mario Odyssey DLC. I think we're pretty much in agreement then, right? Is there anything we disagree on? I was suggesting there's a possibility that Mario Odyssey DLC could get like a release, like a retail release. Mm-hmm. You know, but
I'm like 90% sure that would not happen.
You're 100% sure.
I'm not 90% sure.
Okay. I think there's a 30 to 40% chance they do have a retail release, but more likely than not they don't. But you know, so we're not like totally different on the spectrum here. I'm just like, you know, our percentages of confidence differ, but we're both kind of on the same.
Do we think that they will talk about any games coming out early next year, such as Yoshi?
No.
Yoshi or
no.
Fire Emblem?
No. I'm 100%. I'm never 100%. I'm like 99% confident that they will not talk about anything related to next year in the direct that we're talking about. Like if the direct is in August or September, 100% no. If there's a direct in December, yeah, for sure, 100%. That's what it's gonna be about. But for the one we're talking about today, no.
Right. I think there's gonna be one in like January next year to cover all that kind of stuff. I don't think they would mention it.
Yep. Same page. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I'm not sure if there's anything else to touch on for the direct. I guess we could go a little bit more into what they could potentially talk about for Smash Brothers. I'm not sure. Is there anything that you think they like they could show aside from, I think that we get one character announcement. I think
it's just made one small announcement, and it's just going to be the Drummo pipe, and that's the only reason they're showing it there. Otherwise, they would just save everything for a Smash Direct. And I think it's going to be a character to hype people up. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be something as crazy as like Banjo-Kazooie. Maybe not even like Rex and Pyra, even though I would hope that they would lead over with, you know, the DLC. But I could see an Echo character, like you were saying, Dark Samus is an Echo character. I could see something like that. Something smaller, still big, still hype, but not as big as like Banjo and Smash or something. King K. Rool and Smash.
Right. Which kind of goes back to strengthening my whimsical fantasy of maybe Dark Samus will be announced right shortly after Metroid Prime Trilogy HD showing off, right? Because that's an Echo. Well, and most people are speculating that if Dark Samus is in Smash Bros. Ultimate, that she would be he or it. Actually, I think it's the most appropriate terminology for Dark Samus. It would be an echo of Samus. You know, I think, yeah.
We could see Shadow. Oh wait, was it Shadow? Who is the one that's supposed to be an echo for Sonic that people think are going to come to Smash?
The speculation is Shadow.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
So it's Shadow.
A lot of people would prefer something else, but speculation is Shadow.
I like Shadow. Shadow's cool. He's like, he's cool.
Yeah, we didn't. He was an assist trophy in Wii U 3DS, and I think Brawl as well. I think so. And we have not seen him as an assist trophy yet for Smash Ultimate. So some people are thinking that maybe he got the promotion.
It's possible.
And the same argument goes for Dark Samus as well. The thing that goes even more in line for Dark Samus, though, is that her So in Smash Wii and 3DS, there was Samus's final skin color was in the colors of Dark Samus, and from the Smash Ultimate demo, she doesn't have those colors anymore. It's like a different coloring. It's like brown and yellow, I think. So it's different. I think. I heard it's supposed to represent the Federation Force. I'll take a closer look at it. But basically, it's not the Dark Samus colors anymore. And we didn't see Dark Samus as an assist trophy in the demo, so it's leading people to believe that maybe Dark Samus is an Echo. Or just a character. Because if you think about it, that doesn't mean Dark Samus has to be an Echo. Like it just means that Dark Samus could be a character.
I think 100% Dark Samus would be an Echo.
So, like, I kind of agree. But I guess, you know, the thing is like, what is the difference between an Echo and a clone-ish character, right? Because there have been some clone characters that have been introduced, but a couple of their specials are different. A couple of their moves are just straight up different, right? So, like, at what point do we call it an Echo character, and at what point do we just call it, you know, character similar? Like, for example, Dr. Mario, as of the Smash
should
Ultimate
not
demo,
be his own character.
He's classified as not an Echo, right? But he's pretty clone-ish. He just, I think it's basically, I'm trying to remember which one, but I think his down beat.
Yeah, his down air or something is different.
And one of his air attacks, yeah. So
yeah, and his fireballs have a different trajectory or speed or whatever, something.
Like pills, right? So, like, you know, how different? Because I think a Dark Samus would be obviously clone-ish, right? Like, but there are some things I think they could easily make different. Like, Dark Samus could shoot Phazon, which could have sticky properties or freezing properties, right? And maybe they could still do that. It could still be considered an Echo character, right? Like, maybe her attacks are colored differently, and maybe she's a little slower. Although Samus isn't like fast, so making her slower, it's slower. I don't know. It depends how they do it, right? But I think they could change the properties of the attacks, where maybe some of the attacks like have like a poison aspect to it, right? Where it hurts, kind of like the lipstick when you get hit by a lipstick and it hurts you slowly. It could be kind of like that, and maybe even slows you down depending on what you do. But you know, I guess it just depends on how far they want to go for an Echo character in terms of changes. Assuming it's even an Echo character. Assuming it's even a character.
Yeah, you know, their line between Echo characters and real characters is so hard to see. It's like
we haven't gotten the hands-on yet, right? But I saw a video by someone, and their conclusion was that the differences ultimately comes down to like actual moves, right? So like if one of their attacks, like, you know, their up air or their down B or something like that is actually different, like a different move, then it's no longer considered an Echo character, right? But for the Echo characters, their moveset is exactly the same, but like their weight and speed and the properties of their attacks differ.
Right. Yeah, it's confusing. It almost feels like whatever Sakurai wants it to be that day. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I think that might be what it is, though. Like, if I had to say, I think that's what it is. Like, if one of the moves is different, you've been promoted to non-Echo character. But if all moves are the same, but they have different weights and speeds and some like minor effects, like for example, like Lucina, like, well, Marth, the tip of his blade always does more damage and it launches you more, right? But Lucina, the distribution is even throughout her sword. Right, so like it can give you more launcher power, more damage, right? So the moves can differ in that way. Like, I don't know how Daisy controls compared to Peach yet. I haven't seen anyone like break that down. I'm not sure they can even break it down too accurately because they've only played it on the E3 stage, and of course, you know, changes are still gonna be made to the game. But actually, if anyone in the chat has heard about that, the difference between Daisy and Peach, well, by all means, let me know. I would love to hear that. I haven't looked into it yet, but I haven't heard anything on it. So, I don't know.
Let's see here. Sabbath asks, since Microsoft and Nintendo are on good terms, do you guys think that Cuphead could be in Smash Ultimate with Mugman as an Echo character?
I'm saying no.
The possibility for that's very low. I feel like there's just too many other characters Microsoft would give, like Banjo and Kazooie.
I think Banjo and Kazooie is like on the priority list.
Yeah. I don't think Cuphead's a big enough, like, it did okay. It did good, for sure. People enjoyed it, but it's not, like, such a big game that it's Smash-worthy.
Right, and it's like, there's no way. I mean, could Cuphead ever be on the Switch? I don't know. I don't see it happening.
And I don't think, definitely not Cuphead being a character in Smash and Mugman being an Echo character. That's for sure not happening. 2 Cuphead characters is impossible. I'm just straight up, there is a 0% chance that we're going to get 2 Cuphead characters in Smash. It's not happening.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Sinus Joe or Signs Joe. I'm just calling you Joe. Hey, Joe. I mean, like...
Steve does not need to be in. Do not put Steve in Smash.
I don't want Steve in, but I would definitely say Steve has a better chance than Cuphead.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't... Like, his Steve at least is in, Minecraft. Like, Minecraft is playable on Nintendo systems. Cuphead is not, right? So, because of that, I feel like Steve makes way more sense. But even then, I don't think a Minecraft character makes sense because... Again, there's not really that much emphasis placed on the character, right? It's more the Minecraft is more about the building aspect, right? So maybe a Minecraft stage, maybe.
I would be down for a Minecraft stage because I think they could do some fun things for it to be a fun stage, but I don't think it needs to be in Smash in any means. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't be upset if it came in Smash because it would be like a fun thing. Like Steve as a playable character does not sound fun or interesting, and there's so many other characters that could be way better.
Yeah.
Like Skull Kid, as Savage64 is saying.
Oh my god. Has Skull Kid been... Have we seen Skull Kid as an
we haven't seen him. I was looking, and we haven't seen him. Not that I know of.
You know what's really interesting about Skull Kid? Like, they could even employ the masks, right? From the different Link characters, too.
That's what they should have done for Young Link. I keep saying that, but they
maybe for that reason, Skull Kid. I don't know, man. Like,
Skull Kid would be amazing. Skull Kid's dope.
Here's the other thing, though. We can't assume that every time we don't see an assist character from previous games. Like at this point, like the list is going to continue to tally up, right? Like, because I mean, right. every unseen assist trophy got the promotion.
An amiibo, yes.
Well, that's true. Skull Kid has an amiibo, right?
Does he? I was saying he could get an amiibo. Lacey James, I think, is saying he.
I think there should be an amiibo for Skull Kid regardless.
There should.
I thought there
He's
was.
Amazing. I think there's the first 4 figures for him, but I don't know if there's an amiibo. I don't know. I don't have one, that's for sure.
I'm looking it up.
There is. I need to get one. That's for sure.
Well, there's art for one. I don't know if it's real.
There's art for like every character as a.
Oh, I don't know.
As a amiibo.
Maybe I should Google it. I don't know, man.
Young Link's...
Why don't I remember this?
Young Link should use
Maybe I just want to remember. Maybe I want this to be real, but it's not actually real.
Probably. Unfortunately.
Does anyone know if there was actually... I don't know, man.
There's a Skull Kid figure that was bundled with Majora's Mask 3D. It's not an amiibo, but it's a cool figure.
Oh, okay, there you go. So that's why my brain's like a little confused.
And it was only bundled if you got the special edition, because I got Majora's Mask 3D and I don't have it because I didn't get the special edition because I wasn't the one who bought it. So.
And there was also oh, I remember now.
Also, there was
for Breath of the Wild, they did release the Young Link, a Young Link amiibo, and that will be the Majora's Mask item in Breath of the Wild.
Oh, I don't have it. I thought I had it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it.
Oh, yeah. Joe, I definitely would love to see Fierce Deity as his final smash for Young Link.
It could happen. I don't think you'd run around and fight as Fierce Deity because they kind of seem to be getting rid of all those kind of transform final smashes. So it'd probably be just him coming out and using its super powerful attack.
Yeah. I think like if they don't have Fierce Deity Link, that'll be a huge cop out.
Yeah.
The Smash Ultimate. It's the Ultimate Smash Bros.
You need Fierce Deity Link because he's amazing.
Yeah.
What if Fierce Deity Link's his own character?
No.
Kind of crazy. No, it's not. He's not. But what if he was? That'd be insane.
It would be, but it's just.
What if he's the one who can transform into everyone else instead of Young Link? They're like, we can't change Young Link too much because we're bringing him back. We don't want to change him too much. We're gonna bring in Fierce Deity Link, and he's gonna do all the cool stuff.
That is an interesting point though, because like in order to really pay homage to Majora's Mask in the way we wanted to, they would have to change Young Link drastically. Like, it wouldn't be like...
Wouldn't be Young Link from Melee or, anymore.
No, right. It would be a different character that's called Young Link.
Mm-hmm. So,
right. Yeah.
Maybe Young Link gets this Young Link 2. And he's cool. I don't know.
I wouldn't have minded.
There's 2 Young Links. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No, see, Young Link, that we know of is Ocarina of, like the Ocarina of Time version, even though they're the same person, and then they have the Majora's Mask one.
I don't think that's happening.
No, but it would be awesome.
I don't think that's happening.
There's no way it's happening, but it'd be dope.
Yeah. So, I've seen a lot of people, Sabbath, like you're bringing up, I've seen a lot of people suggest that maybe Miss Pac-Man could be an Echo Fighter. But so let me ask you guys this question, right? And that extends to you guys in the chat. Like, what if they just have a costume of Pac-Man with a bow?
Then it'd be Miss
What
Pac-Man.
difference would it make?
Not
and
much.
Pink boots. Right? Like, because do they even?
She has like eyelashes or whatever. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but that could just be like a costume, right? Like, for example, there are different Smash characters that just have different. Like, there's a male and female version for them.
Is there a Fierce Duty Link costume for Link this time? I didn't see it.
I think there is.
There was in the Wii U version, but I didn't see it in this new one.
I'll have to double check. But I feel like Miss Pac-Man could just be a costume change, right? It doesn't have to be a whole character. Like, what would they make different about Miss Pac-Man Echo? Could not just be like in the actual Pac-Man games? Did Miss Pac-Man play any different from Pac-Man? I don't remember.
I never played any of them.
You should. Pac-Man's great.
I've only played the OG real Pac-Man.
I honestly don't not remember any major gameplay differences between Mr. Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. So I don't really see a point in making an Echo when you could just make it a costume. And they could even
But she has lips
where they call her Mrs. Pac-Man when you use that costume. Like, but it doesn't have to count as a whole Echo character slot. They don't have to like mess with the like the properties of the moves.
Right. Yeah, I don't see why they would make an Echo character as Pac-Man either.
Yeah, but I mean, if it happens, I'm not going to complain, right? Like, I mean, same, like, what it is. So, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did that and it was just like a skin swap.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Hero of Time Link as a costume would be nice.
Hero of Time Link?
Nah.
So actually, let me double check that. It is Fierce Deity, Link, the costume for Breath of the Wild Link. Is that still an option?
I didn't see it, but that doesn't mean there isn't.
Right. I know GameX's been put out videos for like each of the skins that they saw in the demo.
Right.
I'll have to go back and watch that. Well, I mean, if I skip around, I could probably get there pretty quickly and like verify it right now. I don't know. Man, Googling these things sucks because everyone just comes up with their own art for this stuff, so you never know what's real or not.
Right.
Yeah. I would have to like look it up. Do I even have time? I don't want to like go out of the way and look this up, right? Like, I could. I guess I'm doing it. I'm gonna talk about it forever already.
I don't want to do this thing that I'm currently doing.
Right. GameXplain Smash Ultimate alt costumes. That should bring it up, right?
I guess.
Yep. There it is. That's it. And Link, like, all right. Link is in the beginning. All right. So I see now. All right. So I'm watching it. I'm skipping ahead to Link. There, yeah, he's there. Yeah, Fierce Deity Link is one of the costumes. So your dream is dead. Sorry.
No, my hopes and dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man, but yeah. So just going back to the direct stuff, though, like I would say we're gonna get one character, and there was actually a couple rumors talking about different modes that could be shown. These rumors are coming from people who made other predictions that came true about Smash previously before E3. So maybe, and they were saying they would show off 4 different modes one of which being All-Star, one of which being Tournament Mode, and one of which being a returning mode, and another being brand new, which may have to do with how you get all the characters in the game, which I hope is like an adventure mode, right?
It needs adventure mode.
But I don't feel like they would show off that much at this
They're not going to. I 100% guarantee that they're going to show off like 1 or 2 things for Smash, and that's it. Because they're going to have a whole Smash Direct. Why would they show it off here?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm 100% confident.
I don't mind, but maybe they could show off one mode, right?
Maybe.
Like,
I feel like, why though?
But
why?
Why not?
Because they could put it in a whole Smash Direct. Why take up time in this Direct, where you could just build up hype just as easily with an Echo Fighter or something? Save that for later.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind, but it would be... I feel like, you know, the difference between showing off modes and not showing off modes, the difference between the Direct being huge, ginormous, versus decent.
I don't know. Hey, dude, if they have Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, Mario DLC, and an Echo character for Smash, it's instantly a 10 out of 10 Direct for, like, everybody ever.
People are going to be like, oh, it was better than E3.
Probably! They probably would think it was better than E3. Also, something we haven't talked about, they have to talk about Super Mario Party in this Direct.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, like, Mario Party is one of those games where I don't really need to see it. I just need to know if it sucks or not once the game comes out.
Right. I want to see if there's any bigger stages, and I want to see like the customization options that they have. Because like in the demo that they showed, there was 10 coins for a star, and I kind of would prefer it if there were 20 coins per star. So like I'm wondering if you can customize that. The boards were kind of small. Some people were complaining about that. I didn't mind too much because there's ever since 8 you can only move 1 through 6, so naturally the boards would be smaller. So there's some things that we need to know about that game. There's a few questions.
Like even dice size.
What do you mean?
Well, weren't you just saying you can only move from 1 to 6?
Yeah. So on the normal dice, ever since 8, it's just a 1 through 6 instead of a 1 through 10. After that, it's 1. Yeah, I just said. Okay, I'm confusing myself. But yeah, and then they have the special dice, different for every character, and those can have like 7, 8, 9, and 10. But they don't, not all of them do, obviously. But yeah, so the boards are smaller.
Yeah. Maybe they should just release like Mario Party 1 through 3 for the N64 in HD.
People would buy it. To be honest.
I would consider buying it actually. Those are my favorite Mario parties.
I'd buy it.
No, I mean everything I've seen about Super Mario Party, I'm actually pretty excited about. So, again, I have a feeling it's been pretty good, but I guess we're gonna have to learn more.
Nothing about it worries me except the how many coins it takes to get a star and the slightly small stages. That's the only 2 things that worry me, and honestly, those are the most tiny complaints compared to how bad 9 and 10 were.
Yeah, so I mean, but I also definitely think that if we're gonna get the Direct that we've been sort of hoping for, that they're totally gonna show off at least a trailer for Super Mario Party. And you may have.
I think they have to. I think that's a guarantee, just because how close it's gonna be to the release of that game.
Pokemon Let's Go, they technically don't have to show off because Pokemon, but I feel like it still will.
You know. Oh, I was gonna say that we haven't talked about third parties, but I think you did mention earlier.
I mentioned that there could maybe be some third-party announcements, but I don't know what. I think the games that we already know that are coming, we're going to get release dates for them, like Ark and Dark Souls Remastered.
Yeah. I wonder if we could get, I don't know, another Panic Button game, just because they said they're working on, like, tons and tons and tons of them. Like, they
I think getting a release date from Warhammer is good enough.
Warframe, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't think we need to get another one for them in 2018. Maybe we can get one in early 2019, but like I feel like that's it for them this year.
That's probably it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how crazy would it be if we get Fallout 76 is coming to Switch, right?
It would be crazy.
Or Soul Calibur, that'd be even crazier.
Soul Calibur was rumored to not be on Xbox and be on Switch. Now it's on Xbox and not Switch.
Yeah,
like people before,
how unreliable rumors are.
Yeah, I mean the rumor ended up being like Soul Calibur happened.
Soul Calibur 6 exists.
Yeah,
just right about that part.
The other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it was planned to be on the Switch and not the Xbox One. Then they were like, changed it for some reason. I don't see why it couldn't be on the Switch. It's Unreal Engine 4.
It's also possible.
Fighting game. So.
This is something I've heard that happens with some companies. What they do is they have different teams working on different things, right? And they send out only pieces of information to different places, and sometimes they may send false information to some places to get an idea of where the leaks are coming from, so they can zero in on it. And so I think sometimes leaks are put out by companies and they're fake, or pieces of information are fake, so they can find actual leakers and get them.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
Sabbath says that he hopes Jump Force comes to the Switch.
And I really do hope it comes to the Switch as well. Cool. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. I think if you want to get it, I think it's coming. You're going to get it
to the PC?
Xbox or PC. Yeah.
I'll get on the PC then.
I mean,
if I get it, I'm not too big on fighting games.
Jump Force comes, right, for sure, to Switch. But, like, I'm just kind of, like, tired of all these different games coming out on the other platforms first, and me having to wait, right? Which is why I'm glad I have a PS4, because like I don't have to wait, right? Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm not too concerned about Spyro, because I'll probably end up getting it on PS4, right? It's also why I'm not that excited about Dragon Ball FighterZ on Switch, because I have it for PS4.
Right. And it wouldn't be that bad if it was like a month, 2 months.
Yeah,
it's been like several months.
It's several months, yeah. Like at that point, like
it's too long.
The game has already died out. So, I'm definitely gonna try out the beta for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and if I can get a review copy for the game, obviously I'll cover it. And tell you guys the difference between the Switch and the other versions. Yeah, I hope Jump Force comes, but it's just one of those things where like that game has a huge scope, and it just doesn't look like they had Switch in mind during development. So it could happen, but it's not going to happen at the same time as the others, and that just makes me, I want games to finally be coming out at the same time, right? And
hopefully 2019 is the year that happens.
Yeah, the Dark Souls Remastered, I was so depressed when. Okay, well, I'm exaggerating my depression level forward, but I was very disappointed when the Dark Souls Remastered for Switch was delayed, even though initially we thought it was coming at the same time as the other versions. That was so disappointing to me. But I've been waiting for the Switch version because, from what I've heard, the Switch version actually runs really well and it plays really well, and it sticks to the original version while still running and looking better. And it's portable, which is something I want for Dark Souls, because there's a lot of, I don't want to call it grinding, but there's a lot of death and repeating, right? So
trial and error.
A lot of trial and error, a lot of pick up and play, right? Like playing small spurts. Like, oh, I died. Okay, I'm done for 5 minutes, right? Like, so I really want to get it on Switch. I don't want to get it on the other systems.
Sabbath asks, wait, do my friends have to have a Switch just play Mario Party multiplayer? No, you can play. You can play on one console in multiplayer.
Right, that would be bad.
That would be so dumb.
Be really bad.
You do have to have 2 Switches for the special new mini games where you put the 2 Switches together. Obviously, you have to have 2 of those.
Yeah, so. You need to do. I still think that's so cool, right?
It's so cool.
Yeah, and that's an example how patents do come true. But I remember we had that discussion though. The people were saying, "Oh, this means a new handheld," and we were.
I was like, "No."
We both were saying like, "Hey, what if it's just for the Switch?" Right? And yeah, that putting your Switches together like a game board was all, that was
such a good idea.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Let's see. Oh, Lazy Gamer's asking a question that we've pretty much already answered, so we can just cover that really quick. Let's say there's a Nintendo Direct soon, or Smash Direct, which is more likely a character reveal, or reveal with game modes, etc. Character reveal, because there's going to be a separate Smash Direct after the Direct. That's pretty much what we came to.
If it's one or the other, I'm definitely going with character reveal. One character reveal, right? I think, I agree with Brandon. It's just like, we're going to get, like, small pieces of Smash information throughout the year, and then there's going to be a big Smash Direct, let's say sometime in November, or, sometime in November, I think we'll get a big, like, maybe, like, when will we get the big Smash Direct, right? Like,
probably November.
Like, but it shouldn't happen Black Friday time, right? I think that's or maybe it does. Maybe it happens before Black Friday, and they set up like pre-order packages and stuff, right? So people can buy the pre-orders and packaging on Black Friday, and then they pick up a full copy of the game December 7th.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think to set up some sort of like special Smash bundle or packaging, or like you know how it works with big games. They have like $100 version or something, and
right.
I think they'll set that up so people can buy those pre-orders before Black Friday. So I guess the Smash Direct could happen like mid-November, maybe a week before Black Friday, maybe 2.
Well, I mean, it's coming out December 7th, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it happens a week before Black Friday, that's like it's a 3-week window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it pretty much any time in November.
Okay.
So, well, early to mid. It's not gonna be late November. I don't think they're gonna wait that long.
What's the 4th Thursday of November? I have to check. 4th Thursday, 1, 2, 22nd. So Black Friday is the 23rd. So then, if they did it a week before Black Friday, that would be the 15th of November. That's almost a month away.
When's Pokemon coming out?
That's a good question. I forgot. November.
No, I just meant one day, because they're obviously not going to pull on stuff the same day.
I want to say the 23rd, even though I have no idea what I'm talking about.
They'll probably do it after Pokemon comes out.
November 16th.
Okay. Sometime after then, I think.
So maybe Black Friday week.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like
obviously,
the 22nd.
They're going to get it in before Thanksgiving, if they're going to do that week. I don't know, it's really hard to predict that, to be honest. It's weird. The scheduling is really weird there. November 21st. August 3rd is Sakurai's birthday.
Oh.
I don't think Nintendo's ever...
Nintendo Direct happening this week.
I feel like Nintendo's never done things on, like, just because it's somebody's birthday. Or, like, there's an anniversary.
Daddy Sakurai is special. He deserves more attention than everyone else. No, yeah, I don't think the birthday means anything. But
Nintendo hardly cares about their games' birthdays. Or anniversaries.
Well, like, maybe not a direct, right? But maybe some sort of little cutesy announcement. Yeah, I think they can maybe do something on Twitter. I don't know if they'll announce any Smash content. I mean,
I'm sure Sakurai will do something on the blog. Sounds like something he would do.
Actually, yeah. So there could be something on the blog that would be slightly more substantial than usual. Maybe. Like, maybe
there's a birthday cake item.
Maybe they announce a new stage, right?
Sakurai's birthday stage.
It's a giant birthday hat.
It's just a giant room with party decorations and a cake, and you fight on the cake. This is a big banner at the top. It says Sakurai's birthday. And how old he is, I don't know how old he is exactly, so.
Old.
He's not that old. Yeah. He's pretty young.
Old. He's older than me. Old. He's worked on several Smash games, and each Smash game is usually 5 years apart.
He's worked on Smash since before I was born.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He's old.
Man. He was an adult when you weren't born.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
So, of course, if you're in your 40s, you still think like you're pretty young, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, guys.
He looks young, that's for sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure what else we should talk about. I think we've reached a natural conclusion for this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Podcast.
I think we're good to end it off.
Oh, Lazy Gamer just said something interesting. He said a couple months ago was Super Mario RPG Legends of 7 Stars anniversary.
And guess what? They did nothing.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but maybe they'll retroactively announce Geno for Smash Ultimate.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
Yeah, guys, but so I guess just to summarize everything, right? Maybe there's a Nintendo Direct happening this month or next month. I think that the online service doesn't have to be. We agree, Brandon, right? The online service doesn't have to be talked about during the Direct, but it's possible. But it doesn't have to be, I think we're both pretty confident the Metroid Prime Trilogy has a pretty good shot at being announced at a Direct this year, along with Mario Odyssey DLC. And whenever we do get this next Direct, there'll be at least one newcomer announced. It may even be an Echo character, but one character announced. It should just keep the momentum going, and then we'll get dates for pretty much everything. Like Dark Souls Remastered, Ark, all the DLC. We'll get dates for everything for this year. And I think that's pretty much it for the Direct.
Yeah, pretty much. I think so, too.
I disagree that you think so. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you for bearing with all of the technical difficulties. If this is your first time to the podcast, normally we have a more consistent, more interesting setup. Not that there's anything uninteresting about Brandon's face, but normally my face is there too. Normally we have an outline and all this other cool stuff. But
cool background, Xenoblade picture of awesomeness.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I have technical difficulties. But the technician will be coming for the 5th time tomorrow, and hopefully we get this entirely sorted out by next week. So yeah. Anyways, I really appreciate everyone coming by for this. Thank you for sticking through, and we'll see you all really soon. And I just realized, because Brandon is hosting the stream for me, I cannot turn it off.
Yep, I have to hit the end of the stream button. I have the power! Ha ha ha!
Brandon's gonna stream forever.
I'm gonna stream forever.
Fly to Houston and kick him.
I'm gonna have to take over your channel now.
Oh.
It's my channel now, boy.
Fortunately, Brandon is my most trustworthy partner.
Yes. We so good friends.
Great. We suck at Fortnite still, but
it's true.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm good. I blame you. It's all your fault.
You blame me?
Yes. I get all the kills and damage.
Well, I guess we're not friends anymore.
Probably not. No. Fortnite, It's broken us, guys. You thought Mario Party was the real killer. Friendship's not. It's Fortnite.
Nah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. I know there's people still coming in, but good night, guys. See you really soon. Brandon, you can end the stream.
Bye, guys.
Bye.